He was the kind of man who couldn't even bring himself to touch raw meat. Every time his wife saw his cowardly face, she couldn't help but fly into a rage. But surprisingly, this timid man decided to kill his wife. To carry out his plan, he went to a hardware store and bought some handy tools. Then, under the pretense of going on vacation, he took his wife to a house in the countryside. On the way, he picked up a big rock and stowed it in his small boat. With everything ready, he finally decided to make his move. But just as he was about to act, something unexpected happened. He woke up to find himself tied to a chair, and all the tools he'd bought to kill his wife were now neatly laid out on the table in front of him. His wife looked confused, pointed at the hacksaw, and asked what it was for. The man replied coldly, "I plan to cut you into pieces with it." She froze for a moment, then suddenly laughed at his pitiful honesty. Seeing there was no turning back, his wife dropped her act too. In fact, she'd known about her husband's murder plan all along, and the only reason she'd obediently come to the cabin was to blow his head off with her own hands. The wife thought she was fully in control of the situation and never suspected her husband had an accomplice. What the man was really after, though, was his wife's huge insurance payout. He planned to split half of it with his partner. The accomplice said he'd get $500,000. The woman sensed something was wrong. The insurance money was clearly $3 million. Hearing this, the husband panicked and quickly tried to cover his wife's mouth. But the accomplice had already realized he'd been tricked. He didn't hesitate to point his gun at the man, then chose to side with the wife.